Hello, everybody.
Welcome back. My name is Icarix and he's Kinagusis. Sorry, I just wanted to speak over him for once.
For once, you do it fucking all the time.
What? Name one time that I've ever spoken before you. Come on.
The last several times you've been doing this?
I think you're delusional, Kinagusis. Do you hear that, viewers? I think he's pretty delusional on his part.
Anyways, well, let's just say we have access to grind. Boy, do I have an axe to grind with you. For how long this delay has been in getting another recording going, or even upload.
Come on, man, you've been laying down the grind on me for God knows how long. Can't you just lay it off for once?
No! You know?
Alright, fine. Fuck it, let's move on.
Yeah, so we were supposed to get recordings done sooner, but just constant delays. One of the worst things, actually, which really slowed down our progress, was when Icarix decided to stupidly delete a video that he was supposed to work on.
The workload just got to me. I lost my mind briefly. I don't know how to explain it. I just lost my mind.
He was short on space, which, fair enough. Needed to delete some videos. Fair enough. No fault there. But he decides to delete a video that he needed to work on to get ready for me to be able to potentially upload. It would have been the next video to upload after the one I have yet to upload. I had one video ready for uploading. I installed and uploading. I was like, right, I'll wait till I get another video ready so I can just know I can have one ready, the next video to upload. You know. And then he bloody decides to delete that very video.
What can I say? I just lost my mind briefly.
Yes.
I went all cuckoo. I had my tongue out, making cuckoo sounds and whatnot.
And in addition, I suppose, the other problem was it took like maybe a week for him to clear the Google Drive for me to send videos onto. And then I asked him when I'm putting the videos on, what were the videos that I had to upload. Never responded, so I had to make a guess and send the video that he didn't need. I don't think he needed me to send, so it took again a while before I found out what was the right video to send him to fix his mistake.
Long story short, it was a long and arduous journey to get back on track there, viewers, and I apologize deeply. Although I know Kinagusis will never accept my apology, so why don't we just move on with the battle now, shall we?
Yes, I think we shall.
He will never
we are
forgive
besieging...
me, even until the day I die.
Pretty much. So we are besieging Athens, and our melee infantry have stormed the walls. On the one side are Ambacti, on the other side are Libby finishing Threo swords.
Surrounding them with the best of both armies, I see.
But we're doing what we can against their garrison troops, which are a lot of hoplites.
Again, always with the hoplites. They're very favourable these days.
Well, it's just the way it worked for the Greek factions. They're going to have hoplite phalanxy troops as a part of their garrison.
They can't rely on anyone else for extra support or anything like that.
But think of it in the sense of you're dealing in the time period when this is probably the most of what citizen soldiers were going to do. They're going to fight with part of a phalanx as hoplites.
Still, haven't they ever heard of branching out, extending their options or anything like that?
Well, again, realistically, garrisons are going to be varied, but there's only so much even DEI can do because they can't reform garrisons.
I get it's a technical issue and everything like that. I guess I'm just pointing out, for the sake of it, that there are other options. It's not generally a good idea to just rely on the one option. You know what I mean? I know it's a technical.
Basically, Greek garrisons basically fall into the system of you have your kind of citizen hoplites, you got your lighter levy type garrison hoplites, and then you got ranged units and cavalry, and you get marines. That's how garrisons work. So it's mostly hoplites of two varieties of quality, two different levels of quality, with a bit of cavalry and some marines for some melee troops. That's how garrisons work in Greek factions. and you know, we're not having much acceptance here. So this is how Epirus's garrison works.
Alright, they do them, I guess. What's going on down there then?
Our Ambacti are down, and they are slaughtering these hoplites.
Well, that's a very succinct way of describing things.
Well, do you want me to put it more verbosely?
Yes, I'd like to hear you put it more verbosely.
Oh, Jesus. Oh. Well,
Go on, dramatic.
Our mighty Ambacti, the noble Celtiberian nobles, have, after defeating the puny Greek garrison on the walls, have come down to finish the job and continue slaughtering these Greek hoplites on the city floor.
Very verbose, very verbose. Well done, man.
But yeah, so that's the current state of things. We are itching. It's a tad closer to working on our next series. I've actually started.
Yes, we only have a few more videos left because we're actually in our last session, dear viewers. This is session 17.
Yes, basically, yeah, we're in the last session. So we've got a few more videos of this series and we're done. So hopefully we'll start working soon enough on the next one, which will be Seleucids.
Yes, and we're actually hoping to wrap up Qart-Hadasht on a high note. Actually, we're going to have a little bit longer of a video this time around.
Yeah, that's
longer
at least
than our
idea.
usual 30 to 40 minutes. We'll be aiming to make the video a little bit longer to celebrate the end.
Yeah, it might be closer to an hour, but we're still going to figure that out. But yeah, in the meantime, we'll try to get working soon enough on the next ones to Seleucids. But we got a few more things just to iron out. Certainly.
Yes, and you will be expecting a longer length in videos in regards to Seleucids.
Well, I think maybe slightly, but the really we also plan to do an Iweru campaign, and that will be in a different presentation. I've actually recorded the first part of that, but Ecodex suggested I hold off on that for a while. Probably till after we're largely done with the Seleucids, so we'll see exactly though. But let's just say that we have more projects in the pipeline. That's how they say it. But yeah, we're just gonna hope to get the Seleucids beginning that first, and we'll see what we'll do with Iweru and how that works out. That's our main projects at the moment, kind of in the works.
Yes, so we have a lot of new things to give you, dear viewers, and we hope you are looking forward to it just as much as we are.
Yeah, so I'm gonna need... so I'd like to see, again, soon enough, those thumbnails that you proposed to have. Thumbnail options. And for the Seleucids. And that should be one sign of progress, and I just... We'll probably go into the pack file manager and make some tweaks to the unit limits to certain AOR troops.
Sounds like a plan.
Probably going to tweak the Syrian elephants if they're not already changed. I don't know. The Syrian elephants got a bit of a visual change.
How so?
Summary just did a fantastic job of changing up the visuals, making them look a lot better and more interesting. And basically, but they're considered area of recruitment, which means there's a hard limit in how many you can recruit. I know Cam mentioned about potentially getting rid of them as an area of recruitment and getting rid of the Seleucid Indian armored elephants and make them the new armored elephant, but I don't know if he's actually done that. There was something he thought of doing and was kind of encouraged to by Sertorius and the others, but I don't know if he actually did that. So I might just want to tweak the numbers limit so I could have more of them to recruit from. And the other thing I may want to tweak is the Galatian thorax swords and up their limit.
Okay then.
I had a bit more of an elaborate idea on what I'd do to the Galatian thorax swords, but it's tricky and quite time consuming if it would even work. So might just have for the next best thing and just tweak the limit. I originally wanted to make a slight visual tweak to them to make a version unique to the Seleucids, but that's just too much hassle.
You
And I'm
gotta,
not sure
you
where.
gotta cut some corners somewhere, I guess.
But basically, like I learned at the time, this is a few months ago, a way to kind of change shield texture because it was largely on their shield I wanted to change. But specifically, I wanted to make them look like have shields that resembled the oval shield of the Seleucid silver shield swordsmen.
To make them more accurate?
Well, not so much accurate, but just the fact that the shield that was depicted on the Seleucid silver shield, Tereos it's called, it's known as a Medusa Rondamini. It's kind of like well, it's sort of like a Medusa Rondamini, but a kind of depiction of a Gorgon Medusa kind of thing. And I wanted to try and see if I could transplant that onto a Celtic oval shield with the thorax swords, because the terracotta figurines with which the thorax swords are based off of, at least I think what was it? I think at least one of the terracotta figurines had what could be interpreted as a Medusa Rondamini on the shield, which would suggest that they were kind of in the Seleucid service. So I thought, why not see could I try to and actually the reconstruction of those terracottas, illustration by Angus MacBride on in a book by Nick Secunda, he has that depiction. So I thought it'd be kind of interesting to probably port that design onto the Celtic oval shield because it's a bigger shield.
And have you had any luck with that?
Well, my attempts, I learned the basic mechanic to changing the shield's texture, but the type of like visual texture file that the Tereos, Silver Shield Tereos is different, which made it a lot harder to do. So I don't know if it's very easily possible. Because
have you looked online, online to see if anyone else has any tips for that?
I don't know. Again, it's tricky when you're doing something like DEI. I could probably ask on the Discord, and maybe I could see if I spend a bit of time sinking into it, maybe with a bit of help through the DEI Discord, I might get somewhere, but I don't know.
There's bound to be someone out. There's bound to be someone who has some advice for this.
Like the guideline I saw was from Semin, but again, the guideline doesn't really work for something like this because the nature of what the texture is. It's hard to explain, you know, in these kind of layman's terms. I suppose I'm only understanding to a certain limit myself. But put simply, it's a trickier process, so the easier thing might just... So I plan to make this visual tweak and essentially make this a faction version of the thorax swords, Galatian thorax swords. So they would be a part of the Seleucid roster proper, not just an AOR unit. But again, that is tricky and mightn't be worth doing at this point. So if I at least just adjust the numbers that I can recruit and up the limit, that'd just be handier for now. Because, you know, I guess my whole thinking is I'd like to have more variety in melee troops when I get to do thorax reform stuff. And having those Galatian thorax swords would be great in doing that, but there's only so many you can recruit.
Oh no, maybe you could post a question about this sort of stuff on the Discord channel and just see if anyone is willing to spawn back to you, because they might be able to. They might be willing to help you out with all this technical stuff. You know? Maybe
I'd have to get the assembly kit up and running because I've installed it but haven't properly set it up since I got this new PC, and I need to sort
that wouldn't be too hard, would it?
possibly not. Fact is, it's just stuff I kind of might need to look into doing, but at the same time, I'm just a bit wary of just at this stage. Might just be easier to just adjust the numbers on a table for AOR and just stick at that.
Okay then. Well, you do you, I guess.
Yeah.
You do what you think is best.
Yeah. So that's kind of the way things are, but I definitely want to think it'd be best to try and start recording the series soonish, because I don't want a huge time gap between not only our uploads, but even just between recording the first part and having you send me a workable finished product. Because with this series, it took months before. It took a good several months between my first recording and us having any kind of workable video to record commentary for.
Of course.
And our previous,
Right.
As we talked before this recording, we previously were doing, before this series, we really worked on a Shogun 2 Oda campaign with the ultimate immersive mod. We scrapped it because
wasn't really up to snuff, basically.
Yeah,
so
we scrapped it. Yeah, but a similar case here was, it took months after I recorded the first. It took me months after I started recording the gameplay for you to send me any kind of finished, workable, video, and yeah, so I'm kind of just, I understand your side is more labor intensive, but that's where I suppose the sooner at least I can start recording and sending you stuff, the handier. But at the same time, we do need to work on the Google Drive, because with the changes that I've made to OBS because of my better system, the videos are much bigger.
We've already come up with a plan for that, so
yeah, we just need to put it into action.
We will, don't worry.
But yeah, anyways,
yes.
the battle is going well. We are defeating most of the troops, and some of our spearmen have entered. So we are doing well. Athens will be ours.
Yes, Athens will be ours, finally.
So our thorax swords are fighting those archers. Yeah, I was actually playing, I hadn't, not in a while now, but I was actually playing Carthage again recently.
Yeah?
Yeah, fun to use them, play them again, as well as it's been interesting with the Hellenic HD mod I was using, which gave all sorts of interesting visual changes to a lot of Greek-like units. Some interesting visual changes. I noticed the Sacred Band looks quite different. The early Sacred Band now are using the big scutum shields like the late Sacred Band. That was something I was like, oh wow.
How is it any different though?
It's just a visual change, because the early Sacred Band are using the Greek style Aspis shield. You know, that big metal coloured circular shield?
Yeah, I've seen it in a few pictures.
That's what they were using, and then in the thoraxiforms they get this big heavy scutum. That more rectangular, semi-rectangular shield, semi-cylindrical shield.
Yeah.
And in this mod, both versions have the same kind of shield. Oh look, we have an elephant charge.
Yep, the city's fucked.
Also,
they might as well just pack up their bag and surrender.
Sure. It's actually Carthage's Atlas elephants also got a new visual change in the DEI update.
Wow, they've been making a lot of changes recently.
Well, yeah, see, I think what happened is the Marian overhaul that was done for 1.3.1 included a lot of nice visual changes to elephants. So there's clearly going to be a bit of incentive to apply some of that new development onto other existing armoured elephants. But I don't think we can talk about this that much longer because we are done with this part.
Aww.
But not before raising the city of Athens.